So this morning we're talking about legacy. What is a true legacy? Your legacy in life is indeed your greatest assets. And that in itself takes us to the very famous saying that how you live your life is how you will die. And I'm pretty sure that that is something that you would have heard before in your life. How you live is how you die. Which then in itself urges us to live an upright life, to live a life of goodness, to try to be a good individual, to try to be kind and generous to others, and generally speaking, to do everything that is good, that is right there in front of you. Because like I mentioned before, that is eventually going to be your legacy. And that is eventually how you are going to die. Today, when people think legacy, they think materialistically. That my legacy is the house and land that I was able to accumulate. The legacy is the enormous bank accounts that I was able to accumulate throughout the course of my life. But always remember that when you die and you leave this world, those things will not be taken with you. You simply can't wrap up the house and land and pack it away in a suitcase and take it with you when you are going. You can't stuff your luggage, so to speak, with the monetary gains of this world. So that begs to ask the question, what really is a true legacy? And to answer that question, let us look at one of the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And in my opinion, this tradition literally outlines to us what a true legacy should be. So the tradition goes that when a man dies, إِذَا مَاتَ الْإِنسَانِ, when a man dies, انقطع عمله, of course his good deeds come to an end. He can no longer do any deed, whether good or bad. إلا من ثلاث, except 3 avenues which are then left open for the individual. And the commentators of this particular tradition mention that this is only through the grace of Almighty Allah. But even though we are dead, even though we are unable to breathe, we are unable to even move a single limb, yet still we have 3 avenues left open for us to gain goodness. What are those 3 avenues? Number 1, ongoing charity. Some form of ongoing charity that you were able to do while you were alive in this world. You gave charity to an orphanage. You gave charity to a good cause. And then you died and you left that charity behind, and that charity kept multiplying and multiplying, and people kept receiving the blessings from that charity. You were able to dig a well. You were able to build something that the general masses were able to benefit from. That is one avenue left open for you. The second avenue, knowledge, beneficial knowledge. While you were alive, you were able to teach someone something beneficial. You taught an individual how to pray. You taught another individual how to give charity, how to be righteous, how to be inspiring and motivating, and so on and so forth. And then you died, and then that person carried on that chain, passed it on to another individual and another person. That is the second avenue left alive, open for you, even while you are in your grave. The third avenue, a righteous child, a pious offspring who will pray for you after you leave this world. In other words, while you are alive in this world, you were able to guide your offspring along a path of righteousness, along a path of goodness, along a path of spirituality, and then you died and you left this world. They are your legacy. They are there to keep remembering you and praise and sending blessings onto your soul, and so on and so forth. That is the third avenue open for you. So in other words, in this tradition, we are being told that the best legacy is the one that if you are able to leave something behind that will benefit you after the grave, beyond the grave, that is something which is indeed considered to be the true legacy. And this morning I want to get a bit personal with you. I want to share with you a personal experience, because I think there is a very important lesson to be learned. So just last night, we buried our grandmother. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, yesterday morning, my grandmother passed away at 91. She was a very pious, very spiritual individual by all who knew her. She was a person, if I was to be asked to describe her, all I can simply say is that she was a person who literally changed the course of the river. She literally went against the tide during her lifetime. So about 35 to 40 years ago, she looked around and she realized that I don't like the direction my family is heading. I don't like the legacy that they're going to be leaving behind. So you know what? I think I need to make a change. And even if that change means going against the flow, even if it means going against the tide, I will put my shoulder to the wheel and I will ensure that that change is made, not just for my benefit, but for the benefit of my progeny. And yesterday when she passed, she was surrounded by not just family members, but from people who came from the lengths and the breadths of this country. She was known as a generous person in the community. People from the village, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, as kids on the occasions of Eid, we were sent by her to deliver parcels of food and to deliver gifts, to the members of the community who remembered those things yesterday. So her kindness was remembered, her generosity was remembered, her spirituality was remembered. And when we talk about the 3 avenues being left open for her, now that she has gone to the great beyond, during her lifetime, she gave so much charity, not just to her family members, but to anyone in general, anyone knocking on her door. She was there. Even if she didn't have, she was there to give. With regards to knowledge, you talk to all of the grandchildren and they will tell you that she was instrumental in guiding us along a path of knowledge. And when you talk about leaving righteous offspring behind, yesterday, standing around her coffin were not just her kids, but her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and even her great-great-grandchildren as well. She died at 91. So you can very well imagine 4 or 5 generations there standing around her, all praying for her, all praying that Allah blesses her soul and make the transition between worlds easy for her. And that in a nutshell is the true legacy. So today in this very superficial world, don't be misguided. In this world, people are no longer willing to roll up their sleeves. People are no longer willing to appreciate good characteristics. Trustworthiness, honesty, dependability, determination, steadfastness, discipline. It seems as though those characteristics belong to a foregone era. And everything in this era is about a quick gain and a fast turnover. It's all about who can outsmart who. And as we were leaving the funeral yesterday, one of my sons said to me, he said, it was such a huge funeral. He said, Mama, he said to me that Mama seems to be, she was very popular during her life. To have all of these people here to witness a funeral service, it seems as though she was very popular. So I turned to him and I said, yes, she was indeed popular. But she did not have a single social media account. She was never on YouTube. She was never on Instagram. She was never on Facebook. She had no friends in the social media realm. She was made famous simply because of the goodness of her heart, simply because of her piety, and simply because of her spiritual connection with the Almighty. Let that be a lesson for us all. And I take it as a lesson for myself first, and I decided to share that with you this morning, not because of anything else, but because I firmly believe that there is a lesson to be learned. If you look at the good people, their ending is always good. If you look at the evil people, but I don't need to tell you how their ending will turn out. May Allah continue to bless you and yours. May Allah continue to elevate us all and guide us towards laying the pathway for ourselves with regards to a very, very good legacy in this life.